Welcome back to Living Local. As always, it is time now to check in with Movie Mike on what's new in theaters. Mike Schulz, arts editor for the River Cities Reader, joins us now for reviewing some movies already out in theaters and the new ones coming this weekend. Mike, thanks for coming in again.
Of course.
Let's cover these first two from last week. First of all,
Sure.
The Invisible Man. It was, let's see, this was the one with Elizabeth Moss in it, right?
That's right.
She's always super good, super serious. But did you actually like it? Because it sounds, when I read your review, I got the impression that you almost thought it was too serious.
No, I actually dug the serious. I really did. It's unpleasant at times because it's so serious, but it's kind of a blast. It's great. Elizabeth Moss, as you mentioned, plays an abused girlfriend of this incredibly rich scientist who escapes his clutches. He's got a beautiful glass-encased house on the ocean front. She runs away. He, it turns out, commits suicide, except he doesn't really. And so he has instead found a way to turn himself invisible, and he begins stalking her and driving her mad for the next hour and a half of movie. It is, it's spellbinding. It's really good. It's really, really creepy. It is serious as all get out. They actually take this situation with a lot of gravity, saying what would happen if this woman was being tormented by this guy you just can't see.
Right.
It's incredibly well made. A $9 million budget apparently, and the visual effects are amazing in it. They do so much with so little in this movie. The acting is amazing. It's got a scare about halfway through that literally made me and everyone in the theater shriek. I mean, like children with a spider crawling on our arm. It was great fun. So yeah, I had a ball with this. You have to accept a lot of big plot kind of plot holes, things that don't make sense. That you're like, that's a little bit dicey. But beyond that, beautifully made. I just loved it. I'd see it again in a heartbeat.
All right.
Good times.
I was going to say, the other line you wrote was nerves on edge for roughly 2 hours.
Yeah, nerves on edge. Yeah, seriously. You're
not sure if
you're watching the whole movie like this.
Long.
It's kind of great, though. I had fun.
All right, excellent option there. Then let's talk about the next one here. This was the Kristen Stewart movie we were talking about last week, Seberg. It was historical in nature because it's about an actress from the 60s and 70s who then is basically pursued by the FBI for some of her activism, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's in the late 60s. It's Jane Seberg. She was a big star in the 60s in movies like Breathless, and she also did St. Joan, playing Joan of Arc. In the late 60s, she got very involved with the civil rights movement to the point that Herbert Hoover opened a file on her and basically had agents following her and harassing her for the next 10 years until she finally wound up deceased in her car in 1979 at age 40 under kind of mysterious circumstances. So it's the story of the last 10 years of her life. The problem with the movie, it's not bad. The problem with the movie, though, is the civil rights angle gets really short shrift. They don't kind of delve into that much at all. And they also spend about half of the movie on a fictional character, which makes no sense to me. This FBI agent who's tailing her and eventually starts feeling guilty about it, and his wife complains because he's never home for dinner.
Right.
It's every kind of stupid plot point you've seen before in movies like that. And the thing is, Jane Seberg is a fascinating character, and when she gets a chance to actually do something in the movie, Kristen Stewart is phenomenal. I'd say about half of the movie, she kind of knows her material is iffy and doesn't seem to be caring in that particularly Kristen Stewart way, where it's like, are you even awake?
Yes.
And then by the last half of the movie, she's kind of spectacular. So. I got a mixed reaction to this one.
So it doesn't really cover like the activism or the civil rights movement parts that she's in, or her acting, just kind of the last 10 years.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
Kind of going crazy.
Right, exactly right. And so it's limited in its scope, and that's kind of too bad.
That sounds a lot like a Kristen Stewart role.
It does a lot, doesn't it?
Okay, let's leave those in the past now. Let's get to this week's openings. First up, we're talking about Onward. It is our animated option this week. Tell us
That's
about
right.
it.
Yes, it's a Pixar option on top of it, which is pretty great. And the first original one, I think, since Coco, about 2.5 years ago. It's been a while. So this one takes place in a world that's kind of very much like our own, except it's being populated, specifically, I should say, by gnomes and dragons and fairies and such, who have all kind of forgotten how to do magic because things like cell phones are much more interesting to them. Go figure. So this one is about a 16-year-old kind of gnomish character whose older brother gets him a magic wand for his 16th birthday, and they decide they are going to make a spell to resurrect their deceased father for one day. But as you can can see right there, oh, poor dad comes back and he's only pants and shoes.
Yeah.
That's all they got. And so the rest of the movie is about them trying to fix the spell and get their father back in his entirety for a day. And it'll probably be filled with sentiment and life lessons and all those things, But it looks really colorful. The voice cast is kind of great. You've got Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man, of course, and Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in there, Octavia Spencer. A lot of good people, and it's Pixar. Even like the worst Pixar movie is still pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Could be fun.
It'll definitely be a good one.
It'll make a lot of money.
Something that'll probably something that'll probably be good is always what we need, an inspirational sports movie.
Yes, please.
These can never go wrong, usually. Okay, this one is called The Way Back. It's got Ben Affleck in it. We were just discussing there's another movie called The Way Back. That was only 10 years ago. It's about something completely different, so this is not that one.
That's right.
Tell us about this particular version.
This one is about Ben Affleck playing a former high school basketball star who is now middle-aged and a really severe alcoholic. He gets a call from his old high school because their head basketball coach has had a heart attack, and they asked Ben Affleck to take over the team.
Right.
And so it's about him trying to become sober while attempting to get this kind of team of last place losers to the finals.
Because they have to be in last place.
Exactly right. Otherwise, it doesn't count as an inspirational sports movie. So you've got that element to the movie. You've also got the addiction drama element to the movie. Ben Affleck, of course, famously has been through rehab himself several times in the past. And you've also got a really great director with this one, Gavin O'Connor, who did a movie called Warrior about 9 years ago, set in the world of mixed martial arts with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton, about brothers kind of facing off in the ring, and spectacularly moving. And at the end of the day, I'm a sucker for inspirational sports movies. I just love them. I'll watch anything. Hoosiers is my particular favorite. I love that one to death.
There's a lot of good ones. It's hard to go wrong with that genre of movie.
For sure.
Last but not least, we're going into the period drama, comedy, drama, dramedy, whatever you want to call it, type of thing.
That works.
We're going back to the early 19th century in Britain. The movie's called Emma.
It is.
With a period.
With a period, indeed. Because it's a period movie.
Yes.
See what they did there? They're so clever. Yes, this is the umpteenth adaptation of Jane Austen's Emma from 1815, about a rich and beautiful young lady who spends her odd hours basically meddling in the romantic lives of everyone she knows and loves, to usually disastrous results, while also being unaware of the feelings going on in her own heart. It's spectacular material. You can't go wrong with this. It was famously turned into the movie Clueless with Alicia Silverstone in the mid-90s. Gwyneth Paltrow starred in an adaptation. It's been done for TV a lot, but it's such a good story. It's so funny and light and romantic, and as we can see, kind of beautifully designed. I mean, the art direction and costumes look incredible. You've got Anya Taylor-Joy as the lead. She's kind of an up-and-coming young actor. You've got Bill Nighy playing her dad, who's funny in everything he's ever done. I can't wait. This is material it's like Little Women. It's like I've seen that probably a half dozen times. I'll watch it a half dozen more. I don't care. It's
however many times.
Great
just
material.
refresh it every generation or two.
We all deserve our Emma, I say at the end of the day.
There we go.
Right.
All right, Mike, thanks for coming in.
My
As
pleasure.
always, lots of options this weekend. In review, the new ones this week are Onward, The Way Back, and Emma. You can, of course, always read Mike's movie reviews inside the latest River Cities Reader on stands everywhere and online at rcreader.com. And for more information on today's movies, you can head over to our website. That's ourquadcities.com.